G'day folks, welcome back to the Story of Moz, episode 2. If you haven't seen the introduction, there's a bit of a link up the top here which will take you back to there if you'd like to see it. Firstly, I'll just give you a general overview of a mine, just so that some of the terms that I may use you'll know what they mean. So as you see behind me, the first thing is the portal. The portal is the entrance to the main road that runs underground. It's located on the surface. The road that goes underground is the decline, which accesses the levels. There are levels and sub-levels. Mining occurs between a level and a sub-level, where it's the ore is drilled, then fired, and that broken ore drops down into the sub-level. On the sub-level there are draw points where the ore is extracted, then transferred to the ore passes, which then drops down through the crusher, broken down into smaller sizes, then through to the loading station. That loading station loads the skips within the shaft, and that shaft takes it back up to the surface for processing. The mine I was at is still, was still under development. It was still a few months off from production, so we had a few jobs that we needed to do beforehand. So sit back and listen to the story of Moz Goes Underground.
Let me tell you a story about a man named Moz who travelled in this country named Oz. Then one day he stopped in this town, got a job in mining and worked underground. Base metal ore, that is. Copper, lead, zinc.
Alrighty then. Okay, as I said in the introduction, I had no idea what mining was all about. This was all new to me, and I was employed as a skipman, which I'll talk about in the next episode. But firstly, the funniest thing was donning all the safety gear. I put on, as you can see behind me, there's a picture of a cap lamp and a self-rescuer. The cap lamp itself is like a lamp that clips onto your helmet, and the battery part, which is in those days was a lead acid battery, was strapped to the side of your hip. On the opposite side you had the self-rescuer. The self-rescuer is a unit that in case of fires or explosions underground, which generally produce carbon monoxide, this self-rescuer was used to convert that carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide, so you can breathe it along with the air, giving you a couple of hours to get to a fresh air bay or get out. Well, donning all this equipment, for the first time, I felt like Wyatt Earp going out for a shootout in the OK Corral, It's sure both hips and loaded up with stuff. Let alone getting in the back of a ute with all this stuff on. But I did it along with others, and I was sitting there rather uncomfortable with this lead acid battery jammed up into my back. So there we are in the back of the ute, heading towards the portal. I was actually astonished by the size of this, the entrance and the road that plunged down into this tunnel. I was a little apprehensive at first, but that soon passed once we got through the opening and started heading underground. Anyway, we drove down and we basically started working at sub-level 2. This was the area where the ore is generally extracted. A lot of work we did was concreting floors, preparing the draw points for the loaders to draw out ore. This was putting in steel sets and concreting and all that sort of stuff. Pretty wonderful. heavy work. The concreting the floors were the approaches to the ore passes to give loaders a little bit easier run, and barricades so that the loader wouldn't actually fall down the ore pass. It had something to stop against if they didn't stop on time. So that was pretty good, and I found out that when you turn your cap lamp off, it's bloody dark down there. You cannot see your nose in front of your face. It's pitch black, you know. It's just incredible. Anyway, we got through that, did all that work. We couldn't go down to 3 level at that stage because the contractors were working that level, still developing, and because on that level there was the main workshop, the fuel bays and the crushing station and all that sort of stuff. There's a few, been flicking through a few photos back here for you to have a look at. But eventually we did get to 3 level, and one of the first things I learnt was crib or lunchtime. In those days, although they wouldn't blast the stopes during the shift because they're too big, they were normally done at changeover when everyone was out of the mine. They would, however, do development blasts while they're developing the drives, and this happened during lunchtime when everyone was in the crib room. My first experience of it though, you know, we got into the crib room, sat down, I had my lunch out in front of me ready to tuck in, and the supervisor said, yeah, we're about to fire, so I put my hat on, and he let fly, and they let fly, and the concussion came through just as I was about to eat my dinner, my lunch, and I just saw it shoot down the table. And as I looked to see where it was going, I could see all these other miners holding on to theirs. So, first lesson during blasting at crib time, hang on to your dinner. Yeah. So, that's, yeah, funny sight. So, I never made that mistake again. So, yeah, and that was pretty much it. That's sort of what we do, as I said. There's a few photos have been flashing through here on the views underground. This one in particular is the 3 level. You can see the ute there on the I think it's the left hand side of the ute's the workshop, and the right hand side was the crib room. And that crib room, as I said, had 2 doors, one on each side. One facing the workshop, and the other one was facing the platform where the shaft is. I'll talk more about that with the skipping. So yeah, there's my introduction into going underground. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of information, and I hope you join me in episode 3 when I talk about being a skipman. So for now, have a good one, and cheers.